Hi. So this is definitely a personal development video. It's not about real estate or mortgages. But what I wanted to talk to you guys about today, and I don't even have a clue who needed to hear this message. I'm always talking about using your life experiences, good, bad, or indifferent, to like kind of regurgitate it and help others with what you learned from that. I want to talk about that for a minute because, I've been through a hell of a lot of stuff, a hell of a lot. I've had a pretty rough last 43 years, right? And I'm 47 now, I'll be 48 in October. Uh, but I'm hoping that what I wanted to make this video about is going to help more than just a couple of you. I am excited to tell you that I met with my IT professional this morning for, real estate one-stop shop. And it was such a blessing to meet him because we connected on so many levels. He's going to help me build out a podcast and some other stuff for this content. So I feel super blessed there. But he kind of confirmed for me after, while we were talking, that because I went through all of the crap that I went through in my life, I'm here talking to you now and making these videos for my YouTube channel, for Facebook, for my nonprofit organization, Communities We Love On, that I founded. Like, I am super passionate about helping people break the mentality of victim mentality, right? Regardless of what it was they went through and how long ago they went through it. So I have no idea why I was born with this in my heart, but I can tell you that I put off what was really in my heart doing these things for everybody, creating content with inspiration and healing kind of messages and just making people feel like they're not alone in their journey. I'm super passionate about it, right? And he brought it to my attention that I put off, doing this content all my life. The number one reason would be that I hadn't finished going through all of the bad experiences, right? I haven't graduated from bullshit experiences, which gave me the experience that I needed to sit here and talk to you without all of the educational credentials, right? So that's like an aha moment, right? And I literally, the book that I published, Letters to the Soul, is on Amazon. It is talking about that. It's literally the map to self-realization, self-actualization, where you take all of the bad things that happen to you and transform them, like from a caterpillar to a butterfly. It's the transformation, whether you want to call it spirituality or not. Okay. It's the transformation that you have to take in your conscious and subconscious mind to facilitate change, to step into your power, to be the phoenix rising, to be who you were born to be. Because a spiritual person would tell you that you chose the life and the experiences, all of the bad experiences. You chose to have those experiences by choosing your parents before you were born, right? It's really wild. And in my book, Letters to the Soul, I talk about how my youngest daughter, Alexis, had a memory when she was 5 or 6 years old. She told me that she remembered picking me as her mom before she was born. I literally was in tears. She was 5 or 6 and she's 13 now. So, it was many years ago. I literally had to pull over on the side of the road. I lost my breath over that. Like, I started crying. She remembered picking me as her mother. So while she's on her journey, she is going to realize by the time she's 30, maybe sooner, because she's awakened, right? What her life path is for. Whatever experiences she either has experienced so far, which she's my daughter. So she's gone through some of the traumas that I've gone through because she's my daughter and she lived in my home, right? But whatever experiences she experiences from this point forward, she'll know what she's supposed to do and how she's supposed to transform that experience, good, bad, or indifferent, into her life path, which is what I talk about in Letters to the Soul. It's not the only thing I talk about, but it's just eye-opening stuff. So whoever needed to hear this message, you know, and this might feel, I know this message isn't for me, but I'm literally regurgitating different aspects of what I went through and giving it to you in a different form, right? Yeah, a different form. I guess that's the best way to put it. So if you were to consider what your intentions are in anything that you do, whether it's a goal or a habit or a behavior, to consider intention without surrendering to the highest intentions, right, would be delusional. Let me see if I can rephrase that. It sounds a little confusing. If I were going to define the word delusion, I would say that delusion is intention without surrender. Because intention without surrender creates the fastest path of least resistance to living a fake life. So if you surrender to like the ebb and flow, go with the flow, while making decisions for your highest good, the best intentions, having the best intentions in everything that you do, in all interactions with people, all major or minor life decisions that you have to make. If you surrender to going with the flow of those decisions, one might think that's super irresponsible. But in reality, it's simply delusional, because if you think that you can control the outcome of what is meant to happen, then that's pretty delusional, because you cannot control the outcome. You don't know how other aspects, other humans, other groups, employers, people, children, external factors to the decision-making process. You don't know how they're going to behave. So then therefore you can't control the outcome. So if you surrender by saying, I know that making this decision is, or doing things this way, or making this decision to leave my abusive spouse, to end this marriage, to leave this job, I know that making this decision, whatever it is is for the highest good of myself and other people involved, then you can make the decision based on that and literally release the outcome, because you can't control it anyway. So defining delusional would be setting forth an intention without surrendering to, the outcome, because it creates the fastest path, the most rapid path to living unauthentically or fake, living the fake life. And nobody wants to live the fake life, right? So whenever I say fake life, I always think of Facebook. Okay. So if you use Facebook as a tool to spy on other people, find out what they're doing, find out who they're talking to, you're using your ability to oversee others in an authority position. And if they don't know you're stalking them, then it's literally an authority position, right? So using the tools at your disposal to stalk other people, in authority position or not, really creates another illusion on top of the delusion that you'll see, or your ego will see, as the truth. It's like judging a book by its cover, right? That's why I'm referring to Facebook and somebody living a fake life on Facebook or Instagram, any social media platform, really. If you use your authority position of stalking them, a specific person, to learn information or to, find out something you could possibly use against them later, or whatever your intentions might be, right? You've literally, that is the outcome of the delusion that we just talked about. Thinking that you can stalk somebody's Facebook to find out more information that you could literally, use later against them, or for your own ego, or whatever it is, looking at an ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend's pictures, whatever you're looking to find. You're using the authority of them not knowing you're doing it to create an illusion of what you'll see as the truth, when in reality, it's just your perception of the truth. It's not truthfully the truth. So you're going back to the delusion, you're using your intentions poorly, not to the highest good, by judging a book by its cover and coming up with your own conclusions, right? But you're not surrendering to the outcome. You're trying to control how you see a person, or what person, you might even be trying to validate a bruised ego. For example, maybe that specific person denied you a romantic relationship, or denied you a date, denied you a job, somehow made you feel hurt or rejected, unaccepted, whatever the reason that you're stalking that person. Maybe you got dumped. Okay, I have a few of those. Yeah, you know who you are if you're watching this video, stalker. No, just kidding. Gosh, I lost my train of thought. So you might be delusional by thinking what you see on Facebook is reality. You don't really believe everything you see on Facebook, do you? The question itself generates the aha moment that you might be a little delusional if you do. That's what I'm talking about. So for whoever needs to hear this message, I don't even know why I was so guided to record this video on this topic. But if you're judging a book by its cover, you're not going with the ebb and flow. You're not going with the flow of getting to know that person, or you're not accepting the rejection and moving on with your life. If you were rejected for a job or a date, right? And that's really not for your highest good. So it goes back to being delusional because you didn't go with the ebb and the flow, and you're trying to control the outcome by stalking the Facebook to see what you can find against that person. So you can literally be dirty and be hateful back to that person in somehow, in some way, like using it as a fuel, whatever you can find out on your stalking mission or research project. So it's important to understand that you shouldn't be intimidated at all by what you perceive to be real, because it's real, and it's at least perceived to be real. So it's real to you in your psyche, in your subconscious mind. It's real to you. So don't be intimidated by what you perceive to be reality or real. You have to put yourself out there and do the work to get to know the person that you feel rejected by, or that you judged prematurely, or whatever the reason that you were not living authentically and being delusional and looking at whatever it was that you were looking at without the highest intention, going against the ebb and the flow of the energy and what's meant to happen, because you can't control the outcome. So, woo, that is some deep psychology stuff right there. But I can tell you this, whatever it is that you're daydreaming about, it could be listening to your own little devil, like the good guy, the bad guy, the good devil, bad devil on your shoulders, right? The voice inside your head that's telling you, negative thoughts, right? Daydreaming about what could be versus listening to your devil voice telling you that you can't have whoever or whatever it is that you want, whether it's that job or that person or that life, that ultimate career, that whatever it is that you want, success, peace, joy, living without an abusive person, living without toxicity, breaking away from abusive relationships and situations and toxic careers and toxic people and toxic neighborhoods, cities, states, whatever it is. But daydreaming about what you want and not putting forth the first step in getting it is probably who this message is for, whoever does that. Because if you believe that you can't have what you want, when in reality you can, you're literally judging the book of having what you want by its cover, and it probably has this big circle with a line through it, a red circle with a line through it saying, nope, no entry. But if you flip the page and take the first step and open the cover and start reading the steps to get there, then you'll probably be able to get there. But whatever it is in your mind that's keeping you stuck in thinking that you can control the outcome somehow, like planning to, put in a future intention 2, 3, 5 years down the road, follow your heart right now and do it with passion. Whatever it is that you want, follow your heart right now. It's like, if you don't be the sunshine in your own world, nobody else on the planet is going to be the sunshine for your world except for you. It is literally your responsibility, people. You're responsible for the sunshine in your own life. You're responsible for your own happiness, not your spouse, not your children, not your job, not your boss, not your friends, not your peers, not Facebook, not Instagram, not TikTok, not Snapchat. You are responsible for your own happiness. Nobody else. Nobody. My beautiful mother told me this when I was 19 years old. I called her crying one day, just so upset over how my life was going. Her response was, nobody can change your life but you. Now, there's a whole backstory to why I was even in that position in the first place. And if you read my first book, Dear God Book 1, you'll know what position I was in. But my mom at the time couldn't digest it mentally. She was mentally disabled. She couldn't digest it. But the only advice that could come out of her mouth, what happened to be the best advice that I could have ever gotten from her, because it literally, it stuck with me. I literally repeated that advice anytime I was in a situation, like when I was in an abusive marriage. I literally repeated, I heard my mother's voice, Shauna, nobody can change your life but you. Nobody can change your life but you. You are responsible for you are the one responsible for changing your life. I literally replayed it over and over and over in my head. What my mom said when I was 19. Pretty fascinating, right? So when I write my next book, it will be from my mother's perspective and her memory. And it's definitely going to be a good one. So anyway, I digress. So if you proclaim to yourself that you not only want what you want, but you can have what you want, believe that you are worthy of having the life, the kind of spouse, the kind of relationship with your children, the kind of job, career. If you proclaim that to yourself and follow through with the steps needed to take to get that into fruition, to bring that into reality, whether it's a miserable marriage, a miserable friendship, a miserable job, miserable family. Nobody likes to sit at the dinner table and walk on eggshells. So if there's something wrong and toxic with your family, then do something right now. You don't have to, make any drastic moves. But if you do decide to make a drastic move, like right now, okay, just surrender to the idea that because you're doing this decision, you're doing this thing for your highest good and for the highest good of the people that you love, your children, whoever is in your environment, whoever it will directly affect. If you know in your heart that because you're doing it for you first, when you're on an airplane, you are taught to put the oxygen mask on you first. You do it on yourself first, then the children, and then the other people beside you that need help, the elderly and other children, right? You are literally taught to put your oxygen on first. So if you proclaim what you want to yourself first, and then make the moves to get what you want, then you'll literally transform the energy, the negative energy of feeling stuck, into the high vibe feeling that you'll start to embellish and embody, which is the high vibe of living the happy life that you want. It will transform your life if you just listen to what I'm saying. I have lived this. I have done it. And my relationship with my daughter, I picked up and moved 1,000 miles away. My middle daughter did not want to come. She has friends. She's in high school and she has a boyfriend. And so my youngest daughter and I rolled out. At the time, my middle daughter and I were not getting along. I think I mentioned this in another video. We are closer now than we were before I moved 1,000 miles away. I talk to her every day. We don't fight. She has more respect for me. And the relationship has definitely gotten better because I put my oxygen mask on first. I was literally dying there, like slow, miserable death. And now I'm alive. My career is flourishing. I'm happy. I'm at peace. My anxiety level went from watermelon to watermelon seed within a couple of months. It transformed my life and all of my relationships. So if you be firm with what you want with yourself and speak your truth, God damn it, speak your truth. Follow your heart. Your oxygen mask must have oxygen. You must live authentic to who you are and live your life the way you have always wanted to live it, with your values, your integrity, your boundaries. If you don't feel that your spouse using you for your money is a boundary that is being crossed, then that's not a boundary. But if you feel like your spouse is taking advantage of you, or your boyfriend or girlfriend, okay, then it's a boundary that you have not enforced. If you're continuing to let them do it, then it's not being enforced, which would create cognitive dissonance in your mind, which makes you very uncomfortable in your own life. And that is the eggshells that you're walking on. And guess what? If that example and experience or context is true in your family, your children are walking on eggshells too. They can feel the vibration. They can feel the negative energy. They can feel the fear. They can feel the sadness. They can feel the anxiety. And you're literally hurting your kids by doing it, by allowing this boundary, whatever it is. Maybe they're abusive, verbally, financially, physically, emotionally, mentally, whatever the issue is at your dinner table. You are literally repeating the cycle and teaching your children that that is the cycle that is acceptable. You are doing it, nobody else. You cannot blame your spouse for not breaking a cycle. It is your responsibility. Whoever is watching this video. So even on a positive side, if you're not being abused, something might be disconnected in your home. Maybe you fell out of love. Maybe you've grown apart. Maybe your relationship is just stale and you're not happy. Maybe you're not in the location, the city, the weather that you've always wanted to be in. Maybe your children are acting up and misbehaving and getting poor grades and being defiant, being disrespectful. Or maybe they're not. Maybe it's just you. Maybe it's just you that for some reason ended up, you wake up every day and you're like, how did I get here? I'm not in love with my spouse. Even though my children are doing good, or my child, whatever, I'm not in love with my spouse. We barely hug and kiss and snuggle and make out like teenagers. We barely make love. We barely do anything fun together. Everything is about work or kids. We don't have any romance in our life. We don't do anything fun. And we're not affectionate. We're not passionate about each other the way maybe we were 10 years ago, 20 years ago, however long you've been married. If you can't find a way to work on that marriage and fix it, then it's time to let it go, right? If you can't find a way to stop living delusionally, right? Surrender to the outcome of speaking your truth. If I speak my truth and tell my spouse I'm not happy, what would be the outcome? You can't control the outcome. So why would you wait to know what the outcome might look like before you make the decision? Anyway, so you have to be the sunshine for your own soul and express yourself and truly embody the truth. Your truth, nobody else's truth. You have to be the sunshine, be the music of your own symphony. You've heard dance to the beat of your own drum. Speaking musically, I'm very connected to music, okay? So if you were to create or write your own music or create, whether it's lyrics or the music, write the music sheets, create the beats and the chords, the strums. But your soul has that music already inside of you. You were born with it, okay? This is a pretty good metaphor. Not speaking your truth or living authentically to who you are in the life that you want and surrendering to the outcome of making decisions for yourself first is like having a song in your soul or inside of your body, your heart, with that nobody will ever hear. What is the point of making a song that nobody will ever hear? You can't even hear your own song if you don't let it out of your body, of your soul. It's a pretty good metaphor for what the consequences are for not speaking and living your true, authentic self, your life, the life that you've always wanted. That is literally the best way I can explain what living a fake life looks like and feels like. It has to be painful to live a life that you don't want. Your inner power is stronger than you think. It's stronger than you know. You won't ever know how powerful you are until you start to use the power that's inside of you. You already have everything that you need to live the life that you want. What's stopping you is external opinions, outcomes, money. So what? If you let, if people start talking about the decision that you made, who cares? It's your decision. Who cares what they think? If people start talking about, the money that you lost, who cares? You are going to step into your power and literally start singing your song. And then you're going to create 3 to 5 times more money than you lost, because all of the rewards that the universe can give you, God, creator, whoever it is that you talk to before you go to bed, when you wake up in the morning, or when you're about to crash your car, that person, okay, that entity, whoever that is for you, you'll literally be given all of the rewards for finally being honest with yourself, being honest with others. It's like, if I'm going to tell the truth, say I stole that candy bar from the store down the street, and I'm going to go back to that store clerk and say, I'm so sorry. Here's your candy bar back. I don't know what I was thinking. Do you forgive me? Do you think that the first thought of this person's mind would be, daggone, Shauna, I never took you as a thief. But then it would be, wow, she corrected her step. How honest is that? So who cares what the external people think? Now, when I walk out of that store after returning the candy bar and being honest with the clerk, I might get 4 candy bars. The clerk might say, hey, you know what, Shauna, you have it on me. I'll buy it. I'll buy it for you. That's a reward for being honest. So that's literally the universe. Or I might walk outside and find $1 on the ground and turn back around and go buy the candy bar. The rewards that you will get from living authentically are threefold. Now, the negative karma that you get from living a lie and a web of lies that you spin, your children live a lie. They set off into the world, launch off into the world and find a wife or a husband of their own and create a family of their own. And they go spin their own web of lies. And that is the legacy and literally the aftermath that you create by living a lie. Any heir, any child, their children, you have to break the cycle of not giving, you have to break the cycle of caring about what your parents will think, or what the Joneses will think, or what the church will think, or what your boss will think, or what your friends will think. You have to break the cycle of giving a shit what people think about you to be the authentic you are. And how much respect do you think you'll earn from your children for standing up and taking a stand for who you really are? And in that whole act itself, you're teaching your children to live in truth, to sing their own song, their own music, and not to sing yours. Because I'm sure you're singing a song you didn't even write if you're not living your authentic self. It's not your song, bro. Broski. It's somebody else's song. If it's not your song, you'll know it's your song when it's your song. And you know, if you're listening to this video, give it a like, a thumbs up, make a comment. Share it. You can only love yourself as much, let me rephrase, you can only love other people, anyone else, your child, your spouse, as much as you love yourself. Which also means that you can only receive as much love as you give others and yourself. So if you're not loving on yourself, nobody else is going to love you. Not that deep-rooted, passionate, intimate connection you crave. And if you can only receive as much love as you give yourself and others, then you really need to focus on how much love you're giving yourself. Focus on yourself first. Put the oxygen mask on you first. And when you do, You'll open up your heart chakra, like a beautiful flower. You will open, your heart chakra will open up, wide open, and you'll be able to receive as well as give to yourself and others all things blissful, all things beautiful, all things joyful and loving and affection. You'll be able to give out to others what you put into yourself. Physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, spiritually. So turn your pain and affliction and tears and sadness and isolation into your advantages, your profits, your successes, your favor. Turn it into your personal power. And that is literally the energy of the phoenix. But it's also in the real world, how you transform your life into an abundant, successful, happy, peaceful life filled with lots of friends and joy and money and comfort and whatever it is that you need, because you'll be embracing all aspects of your life, all aspects of who you are. And when you do that, you're literally demanding that the people in your environment do so too. And if they don't, you'd be very, very surprised to see how fast they dismiss yourself. They will dismiss themselves from your environment. Number one reason is because they're not vibing as high as you, because they're living not within their true authentic self. So you'll see all the fake people slowly walk away because your vibration is so high, they can't handle it. That's the real reason. It makes them feel less than. When your vibration is so high that the people in your environment can't stand to be around you, it makes them feel less than. Now, they'll never tell you that. However, they might say it in other ways. Like I've been told numerous times by male and female that I'm intimidating. I don't intimidate people on purpose. It's my vibration that is intimidating. I vibrate up here because I live authentically and true. And because I'm living authentically and true, I exert this confidence about me that unless somebody else is living authentic and true, they just don't have that confidence. Does that make sense? So if you embrace all aspects of the life that you've lived, all the mistakes, all the wins, all the struggles, and you transform that experience like a caterpillar to a butterfly, you transform them through the experiences, through the pain, transmute the pain, convert the pain into experience. Instead of looking at yourself like a victim, look at yourself like you meant to do that. You chose to do that. You chose to be on the path that you were on, whether you look at it that way or not. If you look at it like you were at least at the very minimum meant to experience it, the death of a child, the death of a spouse, the death of a parent, the death of a friend, the divorce, the job loss, the financial havoc. If you look at those tragedies as you were meant to experience it, everybody goes through their own experiences, right? Some more than others, right? But if you look at it like, okay, so I'm going to detach myself from victimhood here. Yeah, I've been through some shit, but I'm not going to wallow in it. because then I'll just keep bringing it back to my life. But what I will do is I will transmute what I learned through those experiences and turn it into my life purpose and what I'm passionate about. I don't want children, especially my own, especially your children, to go through any of the experiences that I have experienced. I don't want a single freaking child on this planet to feel the pain that I've felt. And when I talk about pain, guys, I'm talking about fetal position on the shower floor, crying my eyes out. When I realized half of the shit that I'd been through and really felt the pain for the first time instead of suppressing it, I was in the shower for an hour, multiple times in fetal position. I was in bed multiple times in fetal position, just facing it, just facing it dead on instead of suppressing it. I pulled all those suppressed memories out of my subconscious mind and faced it head on like a boss and transmuted it. What did I learn from that? So learn to dance to your own music. Learn how to play the music in your soul, in your heart. Play a little more to celebrate how far you've come. Because whatever it was that you have been through or currently going through, you made it through, or you wouldn't be watching this video. So celebrate the little successes of how far you've come. Truly gift yourself a reward for making it through how far you've come. Take a walk on a beach, sit in silence, drown out the noise of your daily life. Drown out the noise of your subconscious mind, the little devil on your shoulder telling you, oh, you can never have that. You can never be happy. You made your bed, lie in it. Allow the ideas and the inspiration to come to your mind. And the only way they'll come to your mind is if you allow yourself the time and the space. You're not being lazy by taking a day or a couple of hours of a non-productive activity and going out to the beach and spending some time alone. That's not selfish. It's not lazy. It's not selfish. Go for a walk. You're not being unproductive by clearing your mind. It's self-love. Because if you give yourself, allow your mind to quiet and you give yourself the space to cleanse your negative thinking, it might not happen overnight. You might have to take a couple of walks on the beach. But the first walk will lead to the next walk because you will immediately see the benefits of that walk. And you'll immediately start seeing who you really are. You'll start feeling who you really are. And you'll become inspired to make the changes in your life, to sing your own song, to let it out of your soul. And when you do, your whole life will change. Trust me on that. I promise you, guys, your life will change. So this is the only way you will read the music to your own symphony and let it be played. And until you let it out, no one will hear it. But anyway, I love you. I don't know who this video is for, but daggone man. It was passionate. I hope it helps.